Tewkesbury. It's a very, very old trading town, this one. Built where the River Avon meets the River Severn, so they could trade on both, and its history goes back before records began. I will have a look around. The map that you see here is late 1800s, and you can tell that because it's got the railway in it, centre screen. So we'll start down the southern end where the abbey that's not an abbey is located. We'll have a look at the northern end and we'll pick up anything worth looking at in between. I guess any tour of Tewkesbury would have to begin with the abbey, which isn't an abbey, it's a church. It's still called Tewkesbury Abbey for some reason. And beautiful surroundings with it. Sunshine helps. Not too sure that's appropriate. If you're going to visit the Abbey, then you might just as well visit the Abbey Mill. Pause to read. That's the Weir Control House there. Across the road you have the Abbey warehouse, storehouse. No doubt the monks kept the eye on what was going on from there. That's where they would have stored their tithings, presumably. Then on the opposite side of the road again are the Abbey Cottages, which look much better looking this way. Jetted first floor. A lot of that about in Tewkesbury. Right, we'll go and regain the main road back towards the Abbey. Across the road from the Abbey, that hotel. 1600s. One of the very few modern-ish structures outside the Abbey. Used to be a grammar school, now it's a library. I don't think the sodium light was there when it was built either. We'll head towards the centre of town. Past the National School. And some more Abbey cottages. These were turned into shops on the lower floors. Turned a bit of trade. Down here. First of many abbeys. First of many alleyways. Tewkesbury's littered with them. Apparently the land was so valuable because of the flooding in other places. They didn't want to use the space upon roads, they used alleyways. So you get your cart down here. Letting in plenty of the Lord's light. If your house was jetted at the front, very difficult to jetty it at the side as well because of the problems with construction. So down most side streets there is no jettying. Right, back to the road. Some stables, which may be original. Health and safety today. Another look at the Abbey Cottages as we come out onto the main road. It's a bit of a shame, you used to be able to go into one of those. See the primitive living conditions. We're going to pop down here. And look at the building that we're passing. Jetted, of course. This one is jetted on both sides, which means it has a king post over on the corner. And what they've done here is infilled the frontage, gain a bit more space. A little bit farther down here on our left. The stocking knitters worked in there, hence the big windows. Apparently they had looms for their stocking knitters, although I dare say there was some hand finishing to be done. And across the way from there, there's the old meeting house and Friends burial ground. I kid you not. Nice to know you were taken care of then. Very peaceful. Overlooked by the meeting house. Centuries of wear on that step. Going back up the road a little ways, beautiful view of the Abbey. If we take a left here, past that old wall, got the old tannery. Alongside which is the chandlery. I'm not sure if the building next to it is an original or just rebuilt in the style. Looks a bit new. The boathouse. Then on the opposite side of the road, with a beautiful pair of doors. Little wicket door set in there. Right, back to the main road, guys. St Mary's Lane. And the stocking factory. Stocking knitters. On the road back into town then. Mixture of all sorts there. Georgian and Tudor, I'm guessing, though I don't know. Next on the list, then, wide open space. We have the Abbey Crescent. Which is where they held their fairs and such. As per usual, pause to read. Now if we take a gander down Gander Lane, which goes past the eastern end of the Abbey. Another view of the Abbey. Loads of history. And sport. We have the charmingly named Swillgate River, brook, stream, what do you call it, that seems to flood at the drop of a hat, but it does restrict development on this side of town, so good and bad. Return to the main road. Look at that view looking down there. All manner of building styles down there. And this is where they've cheated. Brought their frontage out level with the upstairs floor, gained a bit of extra space. to which is the Royal Hop Pole. Frequented by Dickens. Across the road and we'll see the other side. No less impressive. Town centre roundabout then, which is in fact the War Memorial. To the left there you see High Street, get there in a minute. To the right you see Barton Street. And we've just come up Gloucester Road. The hat shop. Well, that place was 3 dwellings once upon a time. Now if we cross the road here and look back, if we pop down here, Lily's Alley, I'm sure she won't mind. The thing about these alleys, and the alleys were built because they couldn't afford the room to put roads in, is that buildings like this get left untouched. Everything higgledy-piggledy and squashed in. Probably one of the best examples of a jetted building you're likely to see. Let's try from the other side with the sun on it. 1700s that was put in place. Okay, now back to Cross House and another alleyway. To read. That's the only way to travel. The view back to the High Street. Mark shop in town, so-called Nodding Gables. Good renovation going on there, that's good. Town Hall and the bank. Nestled up against the bank, much modified. An Oriole house, whatever one of those is. that? Still a bit to do. Near the end now, and it starts to lose its Tudor style. That's more the Georgian. I do beg your pardon. This is a rather nice curve one. Yeah, some new stuff there on. Nowadays leads to a car park. Tudor House Hotel. Where the well was. Far end of town now. Breeding straight on, and Worcester to your left. And there on your left, undergoing huge renovation, the Bear Inn. Oldest pub in Gloucestershire, apparently. It has a jetted floor both directions, so it has a king post. Hereford House, lost the significance of that. Some fine brickwork there over the window, lintel. Size of the brick. If you knew all about bricks, you could date it from that. Unfortunately, I don't know all about bricks. A very primitive gutter arrangement here. On the left-hand side. Of course, brings us out by the Avon, Mill Avon, that is. I won't be covering that mill or any mill in this film. I have covered them in previous films if you want to look through my back catalogue. Does it bite? The so-called Mill Avon then. And with that splendid view of Holy Trinity Church, which conveniently is right next to the car park, I'm going to call it a day. As you can see, there's loads of history here, and I've just scratched the surface. Hopefully I've encouraged you to come out and have a look for yourself, do a bit of research. Meanwhile, I'll catch you on the next one.